Hello everybody, Reggie Tam here with a 20 and 30 NL early afternoon Sky video. Hopefully this table's not going to break right from the fucking start. I'm not covering the names this time because the last video seemed pretty well received. No one seemed to complain about it, and I'm hoping that I've done well mending some relationships over the last 18 months or so last 12 months or so in the Sky Poker community where I wasn't always on my best behaviour. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. This guy just bombs a large bet into us. Probably not going to fold. Don't know much about this player. We have them green tagged. I'm not going to share any notes. And just trying to get to showdown here as cheaply as we can with our ace jack. And he had 3-5 of different colours. 3-5. I don't know if it's offsuit or not. I don't remember. It only happened fucking 3 seconds ago. So yeah, I was a naughty boy in the Sky Poker community back in the day, making videos, being unpleasant about people, just generally being a dick. I try not to do that anymore, unless I think I've got a good enough relationship with that person. For example, if Duesenberg turned up, it'd be all your systems firing on him, and he'd be able to take it, and I know he wouldn't be going out of his way to report me and make life unpleasant. But if some players who I don't know as well, or perhaps maybe a little bit more sensitive, turn up, then be less inclined to stick any needles into them, and hopefully we can carry on making these videos without too many complaints. We lose to a 10 here. We can't call rivers. I'm just going to fold the king queen. So my strategy since going back on Sky has worked really, really well. And I'll talk more about that because I'm concerned I don't want to give too much away to my regular opponents. But at the same time, what I'm saying isn't going to really give anyone any major advantage or disadvantage. In that I try and play two different styles, if you will. Against regulars, I will typically do the things I think my range wants to do. So if it's a good flop for my range, regardless of my hand, then one second while I figure out what. I don't think we can fold this king queen. I didn't like the jack on the turn. It's a very good card for him, but I didn't like it. Chop it up. Yeah. So against like people like King Hurley, who I think is a very good player, I'm going to be just kind of playing how I think my range wants to play certain boards. So ace high dry boards, C bet low frequency, etc., etc. Super wet boards, lower frequency, betting with using much larger sizings, that type of thing. And against weaker players who I think perhaps aren't quite on King Hurley's level, I'm going to use a lot more of the Doug Paul post-rock game plan type style and just like stick pretty rigidly to the category system, which if you're not aware of what that is, then I suggest you go to Upswing Poker, spend, I think it's $7 and study that. It's a fantastic little cheap piece of if you're struggling with how to play post flop, if you find yourself making lots of mistakes post flop, or find yourself in spots where you don't really know what to do, it's a piece of art. It's a really good piece of work, and highly recommend it to you. But basically, the nuts and bolts of it is like this, for example, pocket jacks. If I was playing against King Hurley here, this would be I'd probably see bet 80, But against this guy, we're going to check it back. And the category system basically splits your hands up into 4 different categories. Category 1, which is value bet, so you've got a very strong hand. We can bet this for multiple streets, so we're going to. Category 2 is hands that have showdown value, but maybe you can't necessarily get lots of value with them. Category 3 is going to be your semi-bluffs, and category 4 is just your give-ups. So I'm going to be against the players who I think are maybe not on King Hurley's level. We're going to be using the category system, just value betting really strong hands, value betting really strong draws, like trying to get to showdown with our hands that have some showdown value but not super strong, and then just giving up with the weakest parts of our range. And I've been doing that. It's been working really well. Now, I think what's been working best about it is there haven't been too many King Hurleys knocking around. The Sky Pool is pretty damn good at the moment for the stakes I'm playing. And missing out lots of King Hurleys is no bad thing. And to be fair, I've had a really, really good month. And long may that continue. I think multi-way pot is going to bet on the larger side here into 2 players. We're not planning on folding. It's disappointing flop for the 2 queens. We're going to kick it off with a check. Again, this would be a mandatory c-bet in a lot of spots against a weaker player. It's not going to be. Now we're going to hope he's got an ace that he's slow playing. Or maybe he's got like an ace 9 or something that he didn't really want to bet, but he's never going to fold. But sadly, he does just fold. A min open and a small 3-bet here with the deuces. No, we might not get to see a flop. This guy might reopen the betting and then our deuces are worthless. We have a straight here in a limped pot. We're going to bet. Phil Cox, there's a name I haven't seen for a while. So yes, that's one of the more interesting things about Sky. When I find myself playing on Unibet, I find I've got to play more the doing what I think my range wants to do style rather than doing what my hand wants to do, because you just don't know who regulars are. Well, you know some of the regulars are because they use the same screen name every day, see with multiple tables. But the games are just a lot nittier, a lot reggier, and I'm trying not to play there unless I go to look into Sky and the lobbies are just really, really dry. I only play 4 tables, sometimes even less. Play 4 tables for video because it just makes the video more interesting. So I shouldn't really struggle for volume on Sky. The only time I maybe sometimes do is maybe in the mornings, but I'm trying not to play too much in the mornings anyway. So most of my volume is going to be on Sky because it's just where I find it easiest to play the game I want to play and make money. So yeah, it's much more interesting because you're at tables with lots of different opponent types. You're not just like, oh, these are all mostly regulars. I was about to isolate here, but I'm not going to isolate against someone who's only bought in for 30 blinds. Just going to keep betting with that set of 7s, hope not to get raised. Yeah, I just find Sky games a lot more interesting, and to be frank, just a lot softer too. There's a lot more. Well, no, there probably isn't a lot more recreational players. I think they're just not as diluted as they are on other sites because just a lot of the Sky regs, when I was playing here like 2017, 2018, there's lots more cash game regs. Some of them now appear to have just disappeared off the face of the earth. Some others have like migrated to tournaments, which made me think if they've migrated to tournaments, is that because Sky cash games have been getting a bit tougher? So some of that, because there's some bloody good Sky poker cash regs who I don't see playing cash anymore. Sharkio would be one. Splashes is another. Yeah, the Duesenberg's another who doesn't play much cash these days. So I presume that, maybe the cash games are rubbish, but it's anything but. I've been really pleasantly surprised by just how good the games have been. So yeah, I'm a bit confused, but I'm not going to knock it, and I'm not going to tap the glass too much because I don't want those guys returning. Because at the moment, I'm in a pretty happy place. Yeah, you can see at this table, we've got like an orange tag player, Venom GG, chatting to him a little bit yesterday. He doesn't consider himself a regular, but he does tap the glass a little bit. So if you ever watch this, stop doing that, sir. He was needling some weaker player for playing a hand that had no pair, no draw, that somehow beat him. So God knows what his hand was. I didn't see the hand, I just saw the chat afterwards. So yeah, he doesn't consider himself a regular, but he's he seems to have a bit of a clue of what he's doing from a limited knowledge of that. So he gets the orange tag. Like my red tag is someone who I think is pretty good. Orange tag is someone who I think who's competent, but maybe not super well drilled. Green tends to be people who I think are just recreational, and if we're lucky enough to see any light blue tags kicking around, they're players who are just like having a splendid time splashing around and not really giving much of a shit. My overall strategy is still based on having a tighter than your average reg style. I think playing microstakes poker in anywhere in a relatively high rake environment is there's just no reason to go out your way to play plenty of marginal hands and You know, I mean, they're marginal for a reason. They're marginal because you don't make much money. And then when you're in a high rake environment, you make even less money. Now, the counter argument to that is that if you don't play them, then your range is going to be too easy for your opponents to define, and you're not going to get value on your good hands. Not true. Now, in theory, that's very true. In practice, I've been doing this for 12 years now, playing cash games, maybe more, maybe 13 years. And that's always been the argument ever since I started playing poker. And in my opinion, it's never been true. Maybe from regulars. Maybe some regulars are like, oh, we know Reg, and we know Reg just has it here. And then maybe I lose some action from regulars. But given I don't put myself in many games where there's lots of regulars anyway, how's that for a straight flush? Then I don't really care about that very much, to be honest. And if I'm playing on Unibet, where it's basically semi-anonymous, it doesn't matter again, because I can change my screen names, 3 of my screen names, every 24 hours. And by the time someone figures out I'm tight, it's too late, because it's tomorrow and they won't know I'm tight anymore. I was thinking about getting back into doing some coaching too. I'm still interested in coaching, but I think I'd prefer to work with players who have access to softer sites. And I'll explain why in a moment. King Hurley, we could 3-bet here, but I do not want to get 4-bet, because that would stink. He's doing what I expect. He's using a small sizing on the board that favors his range. We're obviously going to call. We're probably going to call turns 2, and then probably going to fold rivers. He checks the turn, which I don't think he would do with an ace, but you can still have like king, king, queen, queen, jack, jack that would take exactly this line. And we're just going to... Now, I think we could probably... I mean, the problem is we could probably value bet here, but to get value from what? I mean, what's he going to do with pocket 9s here? Pocket would just bet 60 and hope he calls with something. He doesn't. Don't really know what the fuck I was doing there, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm betting 60, what, hoping he just has pocket 5s and calls. Probably has to for that price, I guess, but I am opening the door for him to raise me, which would stink. And I probably would have called, because it wouldn't have made sense for him to want to raise me there. After small bet flop, check turn, check river. And he's a good enough player to know that too, so yeah, that was just a hand that was never going to be a big pot, I suppose, given the 2 hands we obviously had. Yeah, so I don't feel... If I'm not playing in games on AAA, on PokerStars, on Party Poker, then I have absolutely no business whatsoever offering to coach people who are playing those games, because I don't know the games well enough. And what I do know about them is they're just, right, these games are really bad, they're really shit, they're really nitty, they're really full of regs. And my advice as a coach is don't fucking play them. So if my primary advice for somebody would be don't play in the games you're playing in, but they're the only games that you can play in, then I'm clearly not a reasonable option to coach you in those games, even if you are like pretty bad at poker and you would benefit from working with me. I still, it wouldn't feel right to me to do that. I mean, if you're desperate and you just want someone to talk to and someone to give you some pointers, then yeah, please do get in touch. But do be aware that I'm going to be hammering it into your time and again. Find better games. Like US players who have access to like Ignition and is it Global Poker? Is it called? I'm not sure. They're similar sort of games to Sky. More than happy to talk to you. UK players who have access to Sky or maybe Unibet. Happy to talk to you if you'd like to reach out and just have a bit of a chinwag and maybe have a few sessions with me just to make sure you haven't got anything alarming going on. That's all fine, but the plan to get back into coaching on a larger scale has absolutely been shelved, because I've spent a good few weeks now in the Triple Eight streets, in the Unibet streets, watching some GG streets, and I just don't like the games, and I've no interest in playing them or really like trying to work with people who want to play them, because I just don't think they're good games, and for the vast majority of recreational players, I think they're really, really difficult and just not worth playing. If I was saying to you, if you're a recreational player only playing for fun, and you're playing microstakes cash games on one of those sites, I would say either move to a softer site or transition to tournaments, and you'll just get more bang for your buck. You just enjoy your poker more than you would banging your head against a wall of just like nits, and decent players. We're not going to see bet here with that good shot. We're not going to see bet our ace king here. We are going to probably check call unless he goes large though. Kind of medium sizing. We had the ace of spades to be slightly. I mean, I don't think he matters too much against this guy, but probably just going to fold our ace king. So yeah, I know there'll be plenty of Sky guys watching this who are familiar with me. What I would be asking you to do if you did want to come and have a chat with me, do some work with me, is do what I'm doing now, just record some sessions. Then I do like I do. If I can just, not sure if I've still got one. I have. I just record your videos like this, and then just say, like, these are the hands I want to look at with Reggie. Video 1. These are all the times with like your tables and the hands you had, so you can quickly find them, and then we can review them. It's not as good as reviewing, let's say, a Hold'em Manager type thing, but it's completely fine. You just download OBS, record all your sessions. You don't have to do anything with the videos because it's already made. So all you need to do then is just catalog the hand times, and we've got material per sessions. So that's what I would be asking you to do. If you're not prepared to do that, wow, we just got the small cold 4-bet here. I mean, I'm absolutely terrified that this is aces or kings, but we have blockers to them, and let's roll the dice. Let's just roll the dice. It's queen, so we're in a flip at least. And we get there. Now do we hold? Holding would be nice. We do hold. Nope. I shouldn't be at this table. If I wasn't making a video, if I could be asked to start another table, I would. But there's only, as far as I can see, 4 tables of 20 and 30 now between them running right now. And this table isn't even full, so I don't really have time to start a new table, so we'll just play it. I'm somewhat familiar with big man, a little bit familiar with Venom. At least we have position on the most dangerous player at the table, so we'll keep it going. If this guy was to leave, then maybe I'd have to reevaluate my plans. Two limpers here, so we're not going to be shy about bumping this up. Expect to get folds a lot, which we don't really want with kings, but I don't really want to just make it 150 and get 2 callers be out of position. We've been squeezed here by Hurley. It's a trivial fold. This guy seems to like attacking checks, so we're going to turn our kings into a bluff catcher. Wow, that's a shit turn. That's a really shit turn. Now he bets. Oh, we're in a world of pain here. We are in a world of pain. We're going to call 1 because we might hit a jack. We might hit a king. He might just be like betting a 10. Please just check it down. Have a 10 or something. Well, he's not going to check a 10 anymore either, is he? Fuck knows. I haven't got a fucking clue. Anyway, we're betting our straight pretty big. We're going to check fold here. And just going to have to deal with the fact that we aren't going to win the pot. He's got 479 left. We're going to bet 220 and shove any river. No, we're not, because he's going to fold. Maybe we should just bet those kings. But I think before we started to, every time I've checked to him, and I think we're 3-betting 3 times now. I mean, he's won every fucking pot, which is a bit of a pisser, but there you go. Every time we've checked to him, he's just stabbed half pot or something like that. So I wanted to give him a chance to do that again, and then. I mean, we're already not loving our kings when it's queen 10 queen. I mean, we're not hating them by any stretch. We're not loving them. When the ace comes and he double barrels, would just be way too much of the time to want to call off versus his river half pot bet or whatever it was. A blue tech turning up. That's pleasant. But you can probably tell by my tone, I'm just much happier with. I don't think I've been in a happier place with my poker for for quite some time. I've just got everything. Well, I think just at life in general at the moment, I'm by no means a fucking wealthy man in terms of money, but I feel very rich at the moment in terms of just how my setup is. I've got my work life, working only with people. By people, I mean like organisations and what have you, not the actual service users. Working only with people who I respect. Working only with people who have the same like vision of how the job should be done that I have. So work's going really well. Poker's going as well as I could hope. My family's all in good shape. I'm in a really, really good mental space at the moment. I think when you're in a really, really good mental space, and probably when you're going to deliver your absolute best poker too, it's not going to last forever. Life gets in the way, doesn't it? Things go wrong. We've got more than a bit of car trouble at the moment. I'm not going to bore you all with, but it's been a fucking ball ache. We bought a car at the end of February. My biggest ever cash purchase. It was quite a lot of money to us, and it spent more time in the fucking garage over the last. I'm just gonna keep calling this guy while it's being small. Since we bought it, we've put like 500 miles maximum on it in 7 weeks. Spent more time in the garage than it spent out the front of my house. So that's pissing me off, but it's just a bit of car trouble. It's not the end of the world. No one's dead. No one's going to die because of the car trouble. It's inconvenient. Fortunately, my wife has a really great boss who's allowing her to reschedule her work so we can just about get by with being a one-car family until the problem's resolved itself. So yeah, it's a bit annoying that we've got some motor problems, but if the biggest problem on your horizon is you're having car trouble that isn't going to cost you any money, it's only costing you convenience, then you're not in a terrible place, are you? And you just get on with it and count your blessings, I guess. Count your blessings. The fact I'm rambling on about cars and work would suggest that we're not having the most interesting of sessions in terms of the cards that are being delivered to us. And I'm fully aware that I totally autopiloted my way to that ace jack because I was too busy whining about Vauxhall Mockers being absolute bastards. Although it is a very nice car, it just doesn't fucking work. Beautiful piece of kit. Sleek, black, very nice, very good condition. But it's got a very uncooperative engine. We are going to raise the Jack Queen enough to hopefully make the blinds get out of the way. So we just get a heads up with the gentleman with the blue tag. He just donks the fuck into us again, and again, nothing we can do. We've been 3-bet by the aggressive regular. We're pretty damn deep. We are going to defend the jacks with a call. We're going to call this flop. He checks, which I expect him to do with most of his range on this board. We could stab. Being raised would stink. I'm not in a mood where I want to get into big fat pissing contests with the only other really competent player at the table. If he checks the game, we're going to bet. If he bets, we're going to call. Now he overbets, which is confusing. And now he's going to overbet the river, and there's going to be nothing I can do about it. He checks. Right, if he's got ace-x of spades here, I'm going to cry. I'm going to be very, very sad. Yeah, he did. He did. Good shot here. Multi-way. Try and rip one off, and we did. So I think he played the hand completely fine there. I like his line. I think we played the hand completely fine. And like our line, if we'd bet that flop, we were almost certainly getting raised. We were just once that flop came down, we were just never going to win that pot really. But we have turned the nuts over here, which is delightful, and we have lots of players wanting to put money in, which is even more delightful. We're going to make a smallish raise here. Just go hope a blue one doesn't come off. The perfect brick. We still have the nuts. And we had 2 callers on the turn. This is developing very nicely. I mean, there should only be one size here, but the king's going to actually just get... No, there is only one size. What the fuck am I talking about? There's only one size. And that is all of it. And I expect them both to fold. I think the king's a bad card. It's good in terms of it didn't change our hand strength, but it's going to scare a lot of their holdings. And it's going to prevent us getting calls a lot of the time unless they have like 2 pair plus. We did get a call from the ace king. We dodged the flush, which is nice. And then he hit perfect on the river. That was nice. That turned out very nicely. Oops. We are going to c-bet this against Venom. We are going to defend the king-queen suited against the king, and we get a very pleasant flop. If he goes with this small c-bet here, we're going to go with the small raise. Turn the flush, and we're going to bet pretty big, I think. And he folds, not surprising really. We have a king, we have all the hearts. There's not much you can continue with there, but I think after check raising the flop, going small on turns wouldn't make an awful lot of sense on that turn card. It's a spot where we're going to bet pretty big. Or not bet at all, one of the two. I don't think it's a small bet situation. Hopefully this table doesn't break. We've got almost half an hour's content, which is okay, but I was hoping for 40 minutes or so. He checks again. I think we'll probably bet twice. He doesn't, he bets. It's fine, we'll just fold. This table's got utterly diabolical now, so we'll probably just play for another 10 minutes and then wrap it up. We're running good when we're fucked today. I'll certainly take that when it comes. We're going to go with the 4-bet here. Fold to a jam. It's a really bad flop for us. Not happy with the situation whatsoever. I think we're just going to give up. I think giving up's entirely appropriate here. King Hurley's a good player, better than me. There's no denying that. And I'm just not going to get in situations with him where we end up getting into stupid pissing contests. I would absolutely have left this table by now if I wasn't recording, by the way. We're going to have better draws to bet than this one. Now I can't help myself. Just if he doesn't have a diamond, he's just going to fold, you would imagine. He does. King Hurley keeps 3-betting me, which is not pleasant. We are deep though, so I'm going to defend. And he's just going to win the pot. Yeah, behave, King Hurley. You're not making life pleasant for me. Not a fan. Not a fan of you just assaulting me. And that's what this is right now. It's just pure fucking assault. And I don't like it. I don't like it one fucking bit. Absolutely not c-betting this board. This is very much in our category 4. Fucking stop 3-betting me, you fucker. I'm just going to leave in a moment and just not deal with this because it upsets me. It upsets me a lot, and I don't like being upset. And another semi-regulars turned up. Yeah, it can all just get in the bin. That's what it can do. Flop me a straight. Flop me a straight. Okay, don't flop me a straight. Okay, I guess it's just going to be a half-hour video then, guys, because this table's AIDS. This one's semi-AIDS. This one is AIDS. And this one's the only good one. So I'm going to end my session now. Sorry, it's only a half-hour video, but that's just the way it's got to be because these tables have taken a significant turn for the worse. And it's just not worth the effort playing them. And there's no other tables to join. So let's just get 3-bet one more time by King Hurley. Oh, we didn't get 3-bet. We flop a straight draw. We're going to bet small. He's going to raise. We're going to call. Who didn't see that coming? We're going to check. He's going to bet. We're going to spew and raise. That's what's going down here. We're going to check. Oh, we were going to check raise, but now he's gone with the overbet. He's a good player, isn't he? Stop being a good player, you cunt. Just binned me. Absolutely, relentlessly binned the fuck out of me. And we are done. So, yeah, 33 minutes. Good enough. We'll take it. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed me felting some fish and getting absolutely destroyed by King Hurley. I hope you enjoyed it more than I did, because I didn't enjoy getting binned. But that's going to happen when you good players do shithouse things to you. So, yeah, we'll leave it there. Don't know when the next video is going to be. Probably won't be till next week now. I wouldn't have thought. So have a great weekend, everybody. Take care and bye-bye for now.